Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. Today I'm going to be looking over my 100 book challenge and my rules of engagement, as well as looking at my top 10 physical books that I would prefer to read during the challenge, and I'm going to give a shout out to a smaller booktuber who is also doing the challenge. Stay tuned. Okay everyone, the 100 book challenge, read what you own, started on the 6th of November. So I have not bought any books from the 5th onwards, either on my Kindle or physical books. Now, my rules are very simple. I don't belong to any book clubs, I don't get box books, I don't get any kind of gift like that. And my rules are simply that I'm going to read what's on my shelves and I'm going to read what's on my Kindle, and that's it. I'm not allowed to buy anything more. I'm also not going to get free books on my Kindle and count that towards a challenge, as for me that's just cheating a little bit, in my opinion. I'm also going to keep track of my books. I'm going to keep track of my books through a tracker that MJ created, that I bought for $3, but it's going to a bookish charity, and I'm going to put that up above. I'm yet to get it printed and laminated. We're still going to find time to do that. I'm also going to be creating a shelf on my Goodreads library where I talk about this 100 book challenge, and so as the book is read, it's going to go into my library. Now, I saw a video last night created by MJ from Reading Is Life. I'll link her down below. Her channel is just simply awesome, and it is a top 10 physical books that she wants to read during this challenge. So the books that really stand out that she wants to pick up. And I said that I wanted to get onto that train, even though it was a kind of like a tag. I just said I would love to kind of move into that idea, steal that idea a little bit. And she says, yeah, go for it, but please do a shout out to another booktuber who's doing a challenge that's got a small channel. So I'm very happy to do that, because as you know, on my channel I love to give shout outs to smaller channels. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shouting out Daniel's Bibliophagy. This channel's got 121 subscribers, so it's relatively new. And there's a very long about section in his portion of the channel. Go check it out. But it basically boils down to that he likes older books, which is exactly what I like as well. And he gets his books from thrift shops, second-hand bookstores, stuff like that. And he loves classic science fiction, older fantasy, as well as horror. So yeah, I found this a very interesting channel. And be sure to go check him out. That is Daniel's Bibliophagy. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, go check out that channel. Okay, for my top 10, I was actually going to go through my favorite Kindle titles, but I might do that at a later stage, because a lot of my really good stuff, my novellas, stuff that I can't get hold of here in South Africa, is mostly on my Kindle. However, there are 10 books, physical books, from my entire library that I would love to get to for this challenge. Now, first of all, I want to make two special mentions because they are compilations. The first being the 19th Pan Book of Horror Stories, mainly because I just love the cover and I'd like to dip into these short stories to see what they're all about. And of course, it's very short. That's another thing. A lot of the books I'm going to be talking about are pretty short, because 100 books is a lot of books, and I really want to include a fair number of novellas, because of course, as a fellow booktuber said, 100 page book counts exactly the same as the 1,000-page book. So a lot of my books are going to be shorter novellas, or at least around 200 pages long, which is cool. Some maybe 300 pages, but books that I can read within a day or two. Okay, so first we got horror stories, and then we got fantasy and science fiction. Now what I'd really like to do with this book is I would like to read the story by Harlan Ellison, because I've been looking everywhere for a story of his called I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream, and I cannot find it anywhere. But yeah, this will give me a nice little introduction into science fiction short stories, fantasy short stories. So these are my two special mentions. My first book that I'm going to prioritize is a longer book. Not that long, I think it's about 500 pages, but that is Dan Simmons' Children of Night. Now I read Summer of Night and I reviewed it and I absolutely loved it, so I'm very intrigued by the story. I know it's kind of like a vampire story, but it seems kind of original, involving all sorts of science and AIDS and all sorts of other stuff that come into it. So yeah, just reading the back, I'm really looking forward to this particular story. And as most of you know, I love Dan Simmons, so this is going to be on my list. Next up we got Lady Killer by Ed McBain. Now at the beginning of the year I kind of promised myself that I was going to read one Ed McBain every month, and I failed in that quite dismally. And these are very short, quick reads. I think I've read 5 out of a series of about 33 or 35. I don't know how many books he's released, with the 28th precinct or the 27th precinct, I'm not sure. But this is the next one in line, and I actually might read one a month from now on, because they are so short, quick reads, easy reads, and actually very good crime mystery novels, very well written and very suspenseful. So yeah, Lady Killer is next in line. Next up, I'm continuing on my Ray Bradbury adventure, and I know this book was also on a TBR right towards the beginning of the year, January or February, and I never got around to it. But this is a collection of short stories called The Day It Rained Forever. So I'm definitely going to try and get to this over the next few months. I might not read it all in one go. I don't do that with short stories. I normally kind of pick and choose and read them over like 2 or 3 months. It doesn't seem like it's not really my thing just to pick up a book of short stories and read it from beginning to end. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, The Day It Rained Forever. Next up we have Susan Hill Dolly, which was on my book haul the other day. I would love to find, I think it's The Lady in Black or The Woman in Black, but yeah, this is what I'm going to go with, Dolly, just to get a feel for her writing. So yeah, and it's also big print, very short. It's going to be a nice, quick, easy read for me. That is Susan Hill Dolly. Okay, the next one is an interesting one, and I'm picking it up mainly because I've had some subscribers give me recommendations to try this book. This is after I was disappointed with Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name correctly, but yeah, Haunted was a little bit of a disappointment for me, and one of my subscribers says pick up Choke, you'll really enjoy that. And it's about a man who apparently says he needs to pay elder care for his mother, so he devises a scam. He pretends to choke on pieces of food while dining in upscale restaurants. He then allows himself to be saved by other patrons who feel responsible for his life, go on to send him checks to support him, because this is just one of the things that he does. So this looks like a very unique, original story. It doesn't feel like horror, but once again it comes in at about 280 pages, fairly large font, so yeah, I could manage this, and that is Choke by Chuck Palahniuk. Okay, the next 5 stories are high priority for me, and the next one I've heard such brilliant things about. Science fiction, seriously people, I'm starting to get into more sci-fi, horror, more into science fiction, And this is John Wyndham, The Day of the Triffids. Now, yeah, I've heard such amazing things about this. These plants kind of take over the world, I think. And I just love the cover as well. With this hand on the earth and the green and the plants coming around the hand. It just looks very, very awesome. And so lots of people have actually recommended this book. So this is priority for me. And that is The Day of the Triffids. Next up, coming in at about 250 pages with big font, is The Night of the Living Trekkies. Now this, I'm so happy to find this, because also it's been recommended on booktube. It sounds like a hell of a lot of fun, almost a mix between horror, science fiction, and humour, and just pretty wild, where Star Trek convention kind of become like a living dead thing, a matter of survival. So yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy that. And I love this guy holding up the arm and giving it a good chew. Yeah, brilliant. Next up we have a novel or novelization, I'm not sure which, to be honest. And that is Executioners, which was turned into a film, Cape Fear, with Robert De Niro. And this is an incredibly tense movie. If you haven't seen it, do yourselves a favour. But yeah, I'm dying to read the book on what it's based about, The Executioners. So this is going to be a priority for me. That is Executioners by John D. MacDonald. Okay, we're going to finish off with two big novels. Well, not that big, but pretty damn big. But I'm determined to get to them. Number one, the first one is Robert McCammon. And he is an author for me right now. I love everything I've written by him. And this is another one that I own, and it's called Mine. Now apparently it's about a woman whose child is snatched by this absolutely psycho woman, and she has to go on the hunt for this child and start thinking about this woman who is particularly psychotic and crazy. And yeah, so it looks fun and a little bit different from the other Robert McCammon novels that I've read, but I don't care. The way that this guy writes is just something else. So this should be a lot of fun, and that is Mine by Robert McCammon. And finally, my 10th book is going to be a reread for me. I gave it 5 stars back when I was a teen, so I don't know how it's going to hold up right now. But that is Peter Straub Ghost Story. And now this is basically going to be a book on reading his life on MJ's Patreon. So yeah, I'm going to dig into this again. And when it says here, a monster seller, a tiger tank of a book by Stephen King, yeah, I know that Peter Straub was one of his good friends. I don't know, I remember absolutely loving this book when I was younger. So it's going to be interesting reading it again on MJ's book club. So it's a long book. We're talking about over 500 pages, but I'm going to go for it. I'm all in. Let's do this. And that is Ghost Story by Peter Straub. Okay everyone, so that's my top 10 physical books that I want to read during this challenge. Of course there are many, many more, and there's a lot of books on my Kindle as well, shorter books, but I'm hoping I'm going to be okay. I know this is going to be a tough challenge, and I salute all of you out there that are taking part in this as well, and I wish you the best of luck. But anyway, what do you think of my choices? Please leave a comment in the spaces dark down below, and take care of yourselves, keep those pages turning, and cheers.